p.m. Eastern. And down here in Costa Rica, Four Seasons, Papagayo, just fantastic. Fantastic. Can't speak highly enough about the people, the welcome that I got from the manager of the resort, as well as just so many people, even from Chicago, that I've run into down here. But I'm going to let them keep their anonymity, and instead I'm going to expose some unusual activity. So let's get right into it, shall we? The unusual activity for today is presented by me, and it is the 22nd of January. This has been already a crazy January, and we're not done. We got a whole nother week, folks. So obviously next week, the 29th expiration, we have a lot of options expiring then too. But let's get right into 3 at 3, shall we? The disclaimer is, as always, that this is for educational and informational purposes only, full stop. That means that you need to understand the risks you take when you make any investment, because all investments involve risk. I'm going to show you some ways to mitigate some of those risks, like volatility and time decay, which are critical components to an option. And if you wouldn't mind telling your friends about the show, please do, because we love the way it's growing. We now get over 70,000 of you every day watching the show on one of the formats that we put out, whether that's YouTube or LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter, Instagram. You guys get the idea. We put it out everywhere, and we appreciate all of your support. As far as that support goes, please share it with friends. That is something that we are delighted that you do, and so many of you have emailed me saying, hey, I just shared it with friends, and they shared it with friends, and so forth. Obviously, we appreciate that. But we do have registered marks, trademarks, patents, and copyrights on almost everything you're about to see. So please ask us. Just tell your friends about it. That's fine. Don't need to ask us. We appreciate that immensely. But if you'd like to use this in your own presentation about unusual option activity, please cite Market Rebellion and ask us before you do that. Yeah, I know. It seems like only yesterday, Pete and I were out in Vegas for Traders for a Cause. It's a great charity. Scott Herman and many of the folks that are the founders of it, you see his company there, Centerpoint, prominently displayed as it should be. They donate millions of dollars, and it's all of us, really. It's traders. So those of you, those of us that are traders, this is a great event, happens every year. It had to be remote this year, but you can bet it's going to be in person in 2021 out in Vegas. Anyway, there is my brother Pete and I out there with, of course, the one and only Bernie Sanders. The air conditioning was really cold that day, so Bernie was kind of bundled up, if you know what I mean. Let's talk about this one, shall we? Because yesterday I talked about Jumia Technologies. They are an e-commerce platform for Africa. And yes, my friend Stephen Weiss, big thumbs up to Stephen, has been on this one prior to me being on it, but I've been in and out of it. I've been trading it. So Stephen's probably done a better job because I think he's just owned it. But as you see, I made that my final trade yesterday when the stock was freely trading at $44.35. And then today, they get an upgrade from a person who said they were a fraud last year. That person being the writers and analysts at Citron Research. They said it was a fraud last year. This year they say we could see it going to 100. Okay, I guess they did more due diligence and turned around their estimates. Nonetheless, from that $44 to $52 was certainly tasty, and it certainly put some nice profits in all of our pockets. For all of you who did it, I salute you, and I hope you enjoy the ride. If you'd like to know how we trade over at Market Rebellion, how professional traders, I've been in the markets for 39 years. That's right, 39 years. This fall will be my 40th year in the markets. And I started on the Chicago Board Option Exchange. My brother Pete is coming up on his, I think, 31st year in these markets. All of our coaches and mentors and the folks that provide just incredible data to all of our subscribers as well as education have all been traders. So they're not just writing, they are traders who have put their money on the line. They know what it's like to make money, lose money, and they've done a fabulous job educating hundreds of thousands of traders. And if you'd like to be one of those, please go to marketrebellion.com/get started, because you can start trading options right away, folks. We can teach you the essentials and then get you into intermediate and advanced trading if that's what you'd like, or you could just stick with basics. And there's plenty of money to be made, but you need to be able to cut the risk in a decaying asset like an option. That's why I encourage you to check out marketrebellion.com/get started. And with that, unusual option activity is officially getting started. JNJ. Gosh, I love this one. It's one of the only drug makers that I have in my portfolio. And why? Because they're one of the best. Also, I heard Dr. Fauci say yesterday, or maybe it was Wednesday, that he thinks within the next 2 weeks, their vaccine for COVID-19 is going to get emergency use filing and then subsequent approval. That is a 1 dose instead of 2 doses. There's nothing wrong with the 2-dose ones. That's mRNA technology. That's messenger RNA research. Johnson & Johnson is not based on that and doesn't have to be stored at those same super cold temperatures, and only 1 dose. So I think that's really a great thing for all of humanity. And I think that this stock will benefit from that achievement that they've hit. So bullish call buying. Stock was 164.43. 5,000 plus of those next week expiration 165 calls at the money calls for $2. There it is, still there, 164.62. And I like the upside here. It's a $433 billion monster, and I intend to ride this one into next week, doing that 1-to-1 call spread. By the way, we are just 100 subscribers, I think, away from 10,000 of you subscribing on YouTube. It is completely free. Our YouTube channel is, you go to YouTube and you type in Market Rebellion and then hit the subscribe button, and you will get all of Pete's The Take, which he does 5 days a week. You'll get all of my 3 at 3, which I do 5 days a week. You'll also get my workout videos in the morning, and hopefully a lot of great podcasts and all the rest. It's all free at youtube.com, and then you hit the subscribe button. Bang. All right, let's take a look at this one. Pacific Plains Gas and Oil, I think it is. Plains is PAGP. And there was bullish call buying in this one with the stock at $9.25. They're buying the March 10 calls. They bought them in 2 big prints. 45 cents for one and another 3,000 for 50 cents. Curtis, there you go. And I joined them, except I bought the 950 strike, and I'm selling a higher strike against it. You see the stock moving a little bit higher, 7 cents higher than when we cited that, and plenty of options to be able to trade on this one, folks. These are March options. You have 2 months, so make sure that you check it out. Of course, decide whether or not it's an appropriate investment. But if you do, then you could join buying those 10 strike calls, or you could trade like John and buy a strike underneath it and sell a higher strike 1-to-1. Voyager is a publicly traded company up in Canada. They are on the Venture Exchange in Canada. They have been growing like a weed. We are very proud of the growth, very proud of what they do at Voyager. I bought coins on there just last night. They have 50 plus digital assets. You can earn up to 9.5% APR by buying and leaving your coins on there. And it is commission-free trading. Can't tell you how nice that is. It's not just like, oh, they find the highest offer and the lowest bid, and that's what you get. No, you can decide what price you want to pay. They fire it in, and through all their different sources of liquidity, somebody either buys or sells to you or from you and you get a trade, and it doesn't cost you a dime. It's a great app on my phone, should be on yours. You can go to App Store at Apple, or you can go to Google Play if you're an Android user. Bang, Voyager. And the third of our 3 at 3 is, that's right, BlackBerry, BB. BlackBerry, bullish call buying. Stock is running, and I love it. I'm already in this one, and I love the action today. 1345 is where the stock is right now. 9,700, nearly 10,000. So 9,700 is 970,000 share equivalent, because every option is for 100 shares of stock. So if you're buying nearly a million share equivalent at 72 cents to control the upside for a week, I want to follow you if you're that person. So I did. I jumped in here and bought these, which at the time were at the money. Now they're in the money calls. And there you see they're deeper in the money as the stock moves to 1391, higher by about 8% today. Why? Well, they have a settlement that we don't know all the terms of yet, so hard for me to discuss very much, but a settlement with Facebook, and they also have a couple deals that they're working on. So I like when somebody wants to buy a stock into the weekend, because frequently that's when deals are announced. Now, I'm not trying to create some dumb rumor, but look at it. It's up 8%. I'm not the one creating the rumor. I'm riding that wave. I'm like a surfer out there in the ocean. I wait till I feel the wave starting to pick up, and then I just paddle faster and faster and try to catch that wave. That's what Pete and I do every day with options. We see somebody buying a big slug of options. Wow, that wave's starting to lift. And then we start paddling, owning those calls if it's upside, puts if it's downside, and go right along with that big wave. That's what we do. Now let's get to the questions as we finish our final show of the week. You can send those questions in to me. My Twitter handle is at Jon Najarian, or at the number three _ UOA. Let's get to those questions. All right, comment. LOL, I like the new trend of hedge funds blaming dumb retailers for them getting absolutely blown out. Yeah, I like it too. I also like it when people say, this is not going to end well. Are they going to pull the plug and not let anybody trade anymore? Is that what they're talking about? Because how does it really end? Or are they just saying, well, some people are going to lose money when stocks go down? Of course they will. Some people lose money when stocks go up. You may have seen that tweet that I did yesterday, citing a report, I think it was Bloomberg, that said Tesla shorts lost $38 billion shorting that stock last year. Ooh. So people make money in up and down markets. Hedge funds blaming retail, since retail is a bigger and bigger part of the markets now. I applaud all of you who are those retail traders. That's the way I trade, by the way, folks. I don't get any special deals. I used to own a big trading company, sold it to Citadel. I trade with the same margin as all of you. I might trade bigger, I might trade smaller, depending how big you are out there trading, but I do like it when they blame retail. I agree with you. And that's coming to us from at Lane Elder 6. Thank you, Lane. CBOE, let's get this one. Lionheart underscore star. That's Lion, Lion, HEART underscore STAR. He says, John, does the CBO have after hours trading? No, they don't. Nobody does. I could have taken profits in Intel, but didn't expect news of a hacker getting into those earnings minutes before the market closed and waking up to a 9% loss. I know what you mean. You may have seen my tweet yesterday, right as those earnings hit. They beat on top, they beat on bottom, but you might also remember that I talked about outsourcing. Stock had already run by that time of the day, folks, $3.50. It was 62-ish, I think, at that time. Gave up all of that and reversed. So having access to after hours is important. It's a way you can trade stock, but not options, not yet. But trading stock, you can if you own an in-the-money call, sell stock in the after hours. You could also just short stock in the after hours if you so chose. But I like having a call that I'm selling against it. And that's what I did. Took some nice profits. Bang. Let's see, Nate Merchaud, who is, of course, one of those co-founders of Traders for a Cause. His handle is @InvestorsLive. Nate says, I'll never forget how much fun we had at Traders for a Cause with Jon Najarian, Pete Najarian fielding questions. Yep, we had a fun time too, Nate. Thank you for that. Nate does a great job getting a fantastic lineup of speakers, even though many of them are competitors to what Pete and I do. We respect them. There is good camaraderie there. There's usually a couple hundred retail traders there as well. It is a fabulous time. If that thing comes around like I believe it will, October again this year, 2021, you should be there. Look at Bernie. He was there spellbound. And as you saw some of the tweets today, less than 100 subscribers now away from 10,000 on YouTube. Please, once you get there, go to Market Rebellion on YouTube. You just put it in the search bar, type Market Rebellion. We're going to be giving away hats, shirts, smart money, follow the smart money book, as well as beginning option courses. We're going to randomly pick folks. It's not just whoever's the 10,000. So if you're one of those folks that gets us to and through 10,000, thank you. And then we'll be doing those random selections next week. And there's a few pictures of what's been going on down here in Costa Rica. Tell you what, those iguanas are huge. That bad boy must have been about that big around, folks. I mean, that was a big, thick guy. And they move fast. And they also blend in. I mean, those geckos and the iguanas assume the color of what they're hanging on. So you can lose them pretty quick once they get into the underbrush. Anyway, there's some pictures of the surf and the sunset. There's me setting up for the CNBC broadcast over in the lower right corner. I appreciate all of you joining us today. Please do us a favor. Tell a friend about this, 3 at 3. Sign up for the YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. And maybe, if you need, come on over to Market Rebellion. Have a great weekend. Remember, you can always learn more about Market Rebellion by going to marketrebellion.com. And if you want to know more about unusual option activity, type in marketrebellion.com/UOA. Have a great weekend, everybody. I hope you're enjoying it as much as I am, and I look forward to being back with you next week. Thank you.